We got some new flashback players to talk about today, and we got some potential power-up players to talk about. Let's jump right in. What's good, everybody? What's going on? It's your boy Rob, aka Roboto. So today we're going to be diving into two parts of the same video. First part, we're going to jump into some flashbacks that were released today. They might not be the most exciting, but I do want to touch on them before we jump into players that I think deserve power-ups in this game before all is said and done. Now, before we do all that, just want to let you know, if you are new here, I appreciate you for stopping by. If you'd be so kind as to hit the subscribe button down below, notification bell right next to it, get notified anytime we live with brand new content. Also, if you like this video, if you like what you see, if you like anything here, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. If you like the suggestions for players as well, thumbs up. And in the comment section down below, you're gonna have to do me a favor. And you're gonna have to let me know which player you think is not on this list that deserves a power-up. We go over a lot of players, but I do want to know your thoughts. And please, please, please make sure we follow the rules. Don't break the rules. We'll go over the rules later. Let's jump right into these flashbacks. All right, so let's jump into these flashback players that we got this morning. Again, there is the second part of the video that will be coming out when we talk about the power-up potentials. But here, let's focus on the flashbacks. Blake Martinez, first and foremost. Obvious New York Football Giants here will get another linebacker added to the team. The same week they got Harry Carson. This is my big problem with EA. Like, they release something that we already have and then give us the same thing at the same position. I mean, whatever, right? It's not for me, as they say, but I guess I'm a Giants theme teamer. I'm not too sure. But either way, Blake Martinez is coming out, 95 overall run stopper, 88 speed, 93 block shot, 93 hit power. Cool, but it's a middle linebacker. And as we've touched on many times here and elsewhere across the Madden community, this doesn't matter. And on the Giants theme team, he's not going to start over Harry Carson. He's just not. Carson is insane, especially at the defensive line. I really like Carson there at the end. So that's Blake Martinez coming out. He also get Packers chems. We'll throw the chems on these flashbacks as per usual. Coming up next is Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy G here for the New England Patriots. Obvious also gets San Francisco 49ers chems. My big thing here with Jimmy G, his speed's not where he wants to be. Throw power's just a little bit low, but he will get up there in a power up to get Gunslinger, Hot Route Master. And his release, it's not the best, but it's one of the better ones in Madden. It's according to some testing there by Zan. Shouts to Zan. It's middle of the pack there, but last year his release was one of the better ones. So Jimmy Garoppolo might be somebody to keep an eye on. I wouldn't say go ahead, invest heavily, go ahead and change your whole team because of Jimmy G, but it could be a solid budget option there as a quarterback, 95 overall. So keep an eye out there for Jimmy G. That's the one resounding factor for him. He gets Hot Route Master, Gunslinger, and he should have a decent release. His speed's not exactly where you want it to be, but he's a field general archetype, right? He's not Mike Vick. So next up is Michael Pierce from the Baltimore Ravens. He only gets Ravens chems. 78 speed, 95 block shed, 92 power move, 94 tackle, 93 play rec. I mean, it is what it is. It's a DT. There's a lot of defensive ends you can put at DT that'll be a lot more faster. That'll be better in a, in a QB spy scenario. So Michael Pierce is there. Fill out some Ravens theme team fulfillments. Dwayne Brown, another offensive lineman, a lineman here in general. I believe he gets Seattle and Texans chems. 94 and up on all major stats. He'll obviously be above 95 for all the blocking stats there if you put him in a power up. His strength's at 92. So another lineman there. It is what it is. We're not going to dive too deep into alignment. And last but not least is Justin Coleman here, cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks. They did need another corner, but was this the corner they wanted? I don't think so. So 93 speed here on Coleman, a little bit slow, but 95 man, 94 zone, 93 press. All the other stats look pretty solid, but his speed's just a little bit slow, right? He's a slot corner though, but his speed's just a little bit not there. But you know, it is what it is. He'll get, I believe he gets a couple theme teams. We'll throw them up here on the graphic, but that's the flashbacks for today. Not the most exciting. Let's jump into the store real quick, take a look at the offer. So we go over here to the store. You're gonna go ahead and pop in under the training option here. And you're gonna go over to flashbacks. There's still 6,000 for the reroll there for the 89 plus flashback players, just like the other Wildcard Wednesday stuff. And speaking about Wildcard Wednesday, let's jump into my predictions for potential power-ups we can get in the future for a hopeful power-up expansion. So if you made it this far through the video, we're gonna break into power-ups and why some of these guys deserve power-ups over the others. Now, important things to note about power-ups, they're not my favorite thing. right now or at all in the game. I do believe power-ups are kind of a coin sink, but I understand a lot of people love power-ups, and I understand why. It gives you a nice little team chem boost, gives you a +1. You can also switch positions if it's a linebacker going to another linebacker, you know, running back to a fullback, whatever the case may be. For this video here though, we're gonna take a look at some guys who deserve power-ups, and we're gonna put some qualifications on it because you can't have everybody, right? So we're gonna go over a bunch of names, but a lot of them we're gonna skip, and I'm gonna use this first page of players ranked by overall on Mudhead to kind of lay the land out and show you guys what I'm going to be looking at here. So top of the line here is Alex Smith. He's prime example of a card that needs a power up for multiple reasons. Number one, he's the top of the end card that has some great stats. Number two, he has multiple team chems, so that helps him out a lot. And number three, he has a bunch of lower cards that can go into the power up and go through his, you know, whole power progress and such, excuse me. So Alex Smith hits a bunch of qualifications for me. We'll go over his card a little bit later on in particular and discuss why he needs one more than anything, but Alex Smith is a prime example. Phillip Rivers here, I don't think needs one. I understand why some people would want one because you could switch between Chargers or Colts chems on his lower cards, but look, if you really want Phillip Rivers, his best card, this tribute card, from my understanding, you can switch his team chems, and this is going to be the same thing for a lot of cards. Case in point, Campus Heroes and Veterans, right? You could change those team chems super easy, so a power-up really isn't needed there on their top card. Now, same thing could be said about cards that are coming out for flashbacks and other Wildcard Wednesday stuff later on until we get power-ups, so keep that in mind here too. I'm taping this before we get some news on the Wildcard Wednesday releases for flashbacks. So the last one I want to go over are rookies, or one team guys, I like to call them, single squad dudes, right? So Justin Herbert, Chase Young here, Justin Jefferson, Gunnar Olszewski, excuse me, even a guy like Jesse Bates, Trey Hendrickson, Lindsley, a lot of these guys, Jonathan Taylor, Gallup, Devin White even is a great example of a guy who should get a power up. I mean, look at all the cards he has, right? He has his core gold. He has a zero chill that powers up to like a 90 something, a 92, I think. His team of the week, 84, and this playoff card right here, 95. So he has 4 cards that could go into his power up. He hits a lot of qualifications, but he has no other team chems, right? So getting a power up for him kind of at the 95 would be pointless outside of the +1s, or if you want to use him as a right outside linebacker or whatever, right? So with all that said, let's jump into some guys. We're going to spend some time on others. We're going to spend not as much time on some others. We're going to, you know, give the proper attention to the right cards that need it. So first up on the list, and these are not ranked in any particular order, these are just names I want to go over and tell you why this card should get a power up and why I think it should. So 93 overall Kenyan Drake right here. Drake only for one main reason. Number one is a 93, so it's, you know, not a top of the line card, but it is a card I still see out there. A lot of people like this Kenyan Drake card. A lot of people got it for free and zero chill, so it's a good card. He also has another core gold, and he has multiple team chems with the Cardinals and the Dolphins. So Kenyan Drake here would be a nice one to get a power up, but maybe not top of the list there. Devonta Freeman, honestly, for selfish reasons here, just for a Giants team purposes, so he can get his multiple chems. He was just added into the game, so I doubt that he would get one as fast. Same thing could be said for a guy like Joe Flacco, right? They came in the same program here, so you know, those two guys would be nice, but don't bank on it right away. Lesean Mccoy, another zero chill running back here. Now this one is highly requested. Obviously, Eagles chems, Bucks chems. I believe he also should get Bills chems too, if I'm not mistaken. So this is one that obviously you see right down here. People in the community really wanted to. So Lesean Mccoy, I mean, despite his 93 overall, he wouldn't even be a top end running back. I mean, maybe on Eagles theme teams, Bills, Bucks, he'd be great, but you know, just a regular card on a team, he wouldn't be top end running back by any means. But I know a lot of people would welcome a Shady McCoy. So I think just on name value alone, Lesean McCoy kind of vaults up the list here again on this imaginary list. He's one that I definitely think deserves a power up for sure. Next up here, another selfish reasons here. Let's get the selfish reasons out the way. Justin Pugh, former Giants lineman. We won't spend too much time on a lineman, but you know, give him a power up so he can get Cardinals and Giants chems. He only has one other card, core gold there, so I'd like a Justin Pugh power up for selfish reasons. This one, Antonio Brown, very similar to what we just went over previously there with Devonta Freeman, and also a little bit Joe Flacco, but Joe's already been in the game. Antonio Brown here, he should get a power up for sure. Obviously, Raiders, Steelers chems, Bucks chems, but or he wouldn't even get Raiders chems. He never played a game for them, right? He got cut before the season starts, right? So you get Steelers and Bucks, I don't know. But either way, it'd be a welcome power up. Obviously, he gets more than one team. Obviously, it's a big name, but also obviously it's a new card that just got added recently, and EA's having trouble putting power ups for cards that have been in the game since the start. So he'd be a great name, but I don't think he'd be more likely than somebody like a Lesean Mccoy, for example, right? Because he's a newer card, and I guess EA's system doesn't allow new power-ups to be added easily. I'm not sure. Next up here is Austin Ryder, another guy who has multiple team chems. I believe it's Chiefs and Browns. It's another lineman. We won't spend too much time on him, but he has multiple cards. As you see, a core gold, team builders with the same art. That's hilarious. And his Super Bowl card here. So Austin Ryder, power up, maybe not top of the list again, but you know, could get one. Leonard Williams, another one for selfish reasons, even though he is already naturally Giants chems on his best card, but give him a power up there so you can put his core gold Autumn Blast. He also gets Jets chems as well. He's not that bad either. He's a pretty solid card as a DT there. His speed's a little bit low, but 91 block shed isn't half bad here for Leonard Williams. But again, a guy probably not on the top of the list. Jameson Crowder here too, another guy who's probably not on the top of the list, but he does get multiple team chems here. So you can put his core gold, Autumn Blast, and this 92 overall in that progress to get him. But again, guys mostly at the bottom of the list. Would Crowder even crack the top 5 for the Washington theme team wide receivers? I don't even think so. So maybe a power for him would be a waste, but he is a multiple team guy for sure. Eric Ebron. Now this is a guy who could get a power up, and I think might be in the top of the echelon there to get a power up. Ebron here, obviously Steelers chems right now, but he also has Detroit and the Colts as chems potentially if he had a power up there. So he had multiple team chems. He's a tight end on the budget end that's pretty solid to use. He's still kind of expensive for a 92, right? 88K. That's not bad at all, actually. It's like 8 coins per training for that. Interesting. We have to look into that. But anyway, solid receiver, tight end 2 here, 88 speed, 90 catch. Medium route running is at 88, so a power up for sure would be welcome for him here. So Eric Ebron could be a name that's on the top of the list there again. Another guy there, I think, with Lesean Mccoy, that are 2 names to keep an eye on for power ups potentially. Nickel Roby Coleman, mostly for multiple team purposes, multiple theme team purposes here. I don't know if he'd even crack the Eagles top 5 even with a power up. The Rams, I don't know if he'd crack their cornerbacks either, even with a power up. I'm not too sure, but Nickel Roby Coleman's one there for multiple team chem reasons. Jordan Reed here, another guy, multiple team chem reasons. Also not a bad name there too, a tight end. You know, he'll get his 49ers and Washington football team there too. And also he's not a bad card, right? 88 speed right there, medium route running at 89. So could be a glitchy budget card if you got a power up there, excuse me. Cam Newton, now a name, you know, maybe not deserving of a power up because he kind of was horrible this year, but I think he would be welcome, obvious for the reasons of a multiple team chems, obvious for Panthers fans there. So and name value alone, right? Cam Newton, I mean, you saw him last year, he got the draft master, he was 99 overall, so you have to imagine a name like Cam will get an upgrade somewhere down the line. So maybe that's when we see a power up, maybe not so much a power up expansion, but I could see something happening for Cam for sure. So Carlos Dunlap here, he's another guy I could see getting power up for multiple reasons. Obviously, he has a little higher end card, 91, but you gotta imagine he'll probably get another upgrade later on this year. Obvious multiple team chems with the Seahawks and Bengals, just to name 2 there. And he's not too bad there off the edge. 83 speed, could boost it up a little bit. Obviously, he had a better card, but 90 block shed. So wouldn't be too bad there on the defensive line for a couple theme teams. Would help out the Bengals theme team for sure. Ted Karras here, another offensive lineman with multiple team chems. We won't really dive in too much of this, but Ted Karras here for the Miami Dolphins, offensive lineman, a center. And you would also get New England Patriots chems there. Christian Kirksey, he would get Packers and the Browns, right? Yeah, Packers and Browns chems, I believe, for Kirksey here. So 88 speed, he's a middle linebacker. We really don't love it, whatever, it is what it is, but Kirksey there, middle linebacker for the Packers. Now we're here at the cream of the crop, the top of the top. 2 guys I think absolutely that should be top of the line to get one are Eric Ebron and Lesean Mccoy. But here are some guys that I think should absolutely get them. LaMarcus Joyner here, only for the simple reason that he has a higher overall here. Raiders, Rams chems, 94 overall. He's going for about 120K right there. But the card's a little underwhelming, so he's probably like in the bottom of my list here if I'm going to rank anybody there. The next one up, I'm going to go with Bashaud Breeland, just for the simple fact that Breeland gets multiple team chems. He is a high-end card there at 95 overall. He would get KC and I believe Washington football team and another one there for his power up. So only 2 cards, right? His core gold and his Super Bowl card here. But a guy who would probably benefit from getting a power up, right? 93 speed, 93 man, 95 zone, 93 press. He'd be a pretty damn good corner there. So Bashaud Breeland, another Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl card, Sammy Watkins, but obviously Watkins gets multiple teams. So Bills and Rams fans would be very happy with a Sammy Watkins power up here. He's already 94 overall. He's coming in at 93 speed, 91 catch, 93 deep route running. A power up would boost those up nicely, especially on a couple theme teams there. So Sammy Watkins, I could see one for him. Another guy I could definitely see one for is Jared Cook. Now, Cook here is a tight end listed on his Team of the Week card for the Titans, but obviously he also has a veterans card, so he's kind of different than what I was saying before, because his veterans card can switch between chems, but his top card here, the 96 overall, cannot. So keep that in mind there. That's the only reason why I'm picking him here for this. And also he gets like 6 team chems, so Cook would be very, very welcomed, obviously, for getting the power up. Also, they're 90 at fullback, 96 wide receiver. Hello. But 94 catch for him, 92 medium route running, 91 speed is okay, but it could be a little bit better as a vertical threat tight end there for Jared Cook. So he's there on the list for me. Dion Sanders out of position card. I mean, look, just for team chems alone, that would be hella fun. And he's also one of the better cards, especially at the wide receiver position, because he does get that playmaker ability, excuse me. So 95 speed there for Dion. He's really, really good. The only thing that concerns me about Dion is his carrying down here at 80. Some fumble problems potentially there with him, but you know, that's not the point of this. This is to discuss his power up candidacy, and I think it's a good name. I think it's a good option for sure, but I don't know if they do it. They did add an out of position power up for Calvin Johnson later on in the year, last year I believe, so maybe Dion's the one they give it to. There's a couple other out of position guys who are multiple teams previously in their career, so who knows. Next up for me is JD McKissick. Now we get into probably like the top 5 guys here, if not the top 6 or so. JD McKissick here, he has multiple team chems, Team of the Year card, top of the line, 96 overall. His best card besides that is a 69 core silver, but you know, he's a 96 overall card with multiple team chems, so I think it's kind of an easy choice there to get a power up. Jack Conklin here, multiple team chems again. It could be a good candidate for a power up. He also has multiple cards, a gold, a kickoff, and it's alignment, so whatever it is, what it is, but his stats are all pretty damn good, all above 95 that would be, and a power up. So shouts to Conklin here. Next up is Bryce Callahan. Now this card, I've been using it a little bit on the No Money Spent squad, which by the way, we will be taking a look at very, very soon now that I got some solos done on that and kind of caught up. But Callahan here is gonna be a good option for a power up because he does get multiple chems and his card's pretty nice, right? 95 speed, 96 man, 93 zone, 90 price is a little low, but you know, you can chem that up pretty nicely to hit 93 press, 92. So this card is pretty damn solid, right? So Callahan there is a great option. Now my top 3, I would say, options. Number 3 here is John Brown, just for the simple fact that he does get multiple team chems, just for the simple fact that he would be hell on earth if he had a power up at 95 speed there. And I believe he gets like Ravens chems too as well, so that would be kind of disgusting. And he'd also get Cardinals chems too, which would kind of be interesting and maybe would vault the Cardinals theme team up to an upper echelon there, right? Because this guy's a really good card. He's kind of underrated there. 95 speed, 94 catch, 94 deep route running. Kind of underrated, a little bit pricey, so he's not quite a budget option, but you know, people don't talk about him as the top of the line wide receiver. So John Brown there is on the list for me. Another guy, another wide receiver, another one that I'm sure a lot of people have been waiting for to have me put on this list is Desean Jackson, 96 overall. His team of the week LTD here is Washington football team, but obviously he would get Bucks, Eagles, Washington chems there. So Desean Jackson would be very, very welcomed by many teams. It would put a bunch of teams into upper echelon again. You know, Washington football team already has him there, and with a power up, he'd be very good. Eagles would absolutely add him to their theme team rotation, and the Bucks probably could find a way to squeeze him in, maybe at the slot receiver. They did get a lot of good cards recently just due to the Super Bowl promo, but Desean Jackson would probably find a way on there with that speed, right at 96 on his card stock, so getting to 99 would be no problem. And the number 1 guy, we already touched on him earlier, but the number 1 guy for me that absolutely needs a power up is Alex Smith. And I think if Alex Smith got a power up, he probably would be without a doubt the best quarterback in the game. I mean, it's between him and Rodgers and Deshaun Watson right now, I think. There's a couple guys that have that claim. There are a lot of quarterbacks that just came out, right? Josh Allen's not that bad either. Neither is Justin Herbert. There's a lot of good options there. I mean, Joe Namath is still damn good. So a lot of good quarterback options, but I think this dude, if he had a power him up, he's 98 powered up. He's going to hit 97 throw power. All the accuracies are going to be above 90 easily. 86 speed will go up to 87 speed. Field general archetype. So This dude would be pretty nasty with a power up, and I think it's a guy who deserves it. And I think the Chiefs and 49ers fans would also be happy, put those theme teams up into continued top echelon tier with the Washington football team as well. So a lot of theme teams will be happy about Alex Smith. I'd be happy about Alex Smith. He deserves it. And I can't believe this card is 720 right now. This dude is really good. All right. So that's it for this part of the video. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Hope you like what you saw earlier. We'll catch you next time. Peace out.